Hello, this is John from the Haunt Informer, and today I am with Scott from the Scarehouse.
Hi, I'm Scott Simmons. I'm co-owner and creative director of Scarehouse, which started back in 1999. We're getting ready for a busy Saturday night, so the lights are on. You might hear some noise in the background as everyone's running around. But yeah, we're celebrating 20 years of Fears. So this year, what we're doing is kind of a great. I don't want to call it a greatest hit medley as much as it's sort of like a family reunion of all the fan favorite characters and weird stuff we've done. We've peppered them like Easter eggs throughout the whole attraction.
Nice, nice. So, I definitely found it interesting years ago when I found out you started doing the basement. I've
Hmm.
never experienced it. I definitely want to see what it's like. But what has been your favorite moment from the history of the basement?
Oh wow! From the basement. Oh, that's an easy one. I'm sorry. So yeah, we really want to bring the basement back. We're hoping to be able to do it next year. Last year, there was absolutely no way we could do it because of COVID.
Yeah.
This year, there was a brief little moment where it seemed like things are going to work out, but it was still too, because the very nature of the basement is very interactive and very intimate.
Yes.
And it's not even about. Sometimes when people think about the basement, they think about the quote unquote extreme nature of it
Yeah.
and being touched and everything else. And that's certainly part of it. But the thing that makes the basement so effective is you are actually engaged in interactions and conversations with the characters in a way you can't do in a high speed, high throughput haunted house.
Yes.
And when we were thinking about it, we thought, ironically, with the basement, it's not even the like high impact extreme stuff that would be tricky during a pandemic. It's the stuff like we had a scene the last time we did basement where you would sit and you would talk to a character and you would pick up all these little physical objects and make a weird totem.
Oh.
And I thought everything about that you can't do. That's touch points, that's
Yep.
talking. So hopefully the numbers here in Western Pennsylvania will continue to get better, and hopefully next year we can bring basement back. We've definitely been thinking a lot about it. The my favorite basement experience, and I hate to be name droppy, but it was definitely the night that Elijah Wood came out. I was on Twitter then. I'm not on Twitter now because it just became such a drag.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he was in town shooting a movie, and that movie was called The Last Witch Hunter. And I wonder where all the props went.
Yeah.
But he just got on Twitter and he said, "Hey, I'm in Pittsburgh. I'm looking for something to do." And we started a conversation via Twitter, and then
Nice.
we started texting each other. And we've had celebrities come out before, but Elijah Wood was really into it. Like it wasn't just a celebrity coming out to check out a thing. He went through Scarehouse, he went through Basement, he hung out afterward, he talked to the actors, he posed for photos. He was really fascinated about the entire process. And as a customer going through the basement, he went into it fully engaged. So like a lot of time, like when actors would talk to them, he would get into character with them and he'd be going back and forth.
Really
And then a few days later, he's on the Seth Meyers show and he talks about how great both Scarehouse and the basement experience was.
awesome.
And it all came about from just a little tweet he put out and me posted it. But that whole night, and that was all on Halloween night too. So
Oh, really?
that's
Ultra
fun.
spooky.
Both my favorite basement experience and my favorite Halloween experience for sure.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm definitely excited to see your characters like Creepo. Will we encounter them this year? Like Creepo and the Scarehouse Bunny, of course.
Yes, we have Creepo's definitely back. We have two bunnies. We had so that's as Haunt Informer. I'll tell you some detail there. We had the original Scarehouse bunny, which was essentially an Easter bunny with an axe,
Yes.
and very popular. But then, frankly, what started happening is I started seeing many other haunted houses having Easter bunny with axes,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
thinking like, well, it's kind of hard to differentiate
Yes.
ourselves if everyone's getting the same costume, same thing.
Yes.
Like, how can we make a bunny that is different and sort of and it was also right around the time that we were working directly with Michael Dougherty from Legendary for a while. And I thought, well, what if we just sort of revamp Bunny to make him feel a little bit closer, like almost as if he's from the same kind of universe of Sam and Krampus?
Nice.
Because for that there was a few years there we were working closely with both Michael and Legendary and doing things on Trick or Treat and Krampus. And I thought, well, our bunny should sort of have that sort of folksy, handmade, and very unique feel to it. So Bunny got a revamp, and a lot of people always asked about the original Bunny, and the whole idea of doing 20 Years of Fears and bringing all the characters back, it all kind of all started happening at once, and we were surprised to find like, yeah, we can. There's two Scarehouse bunnies. The one is outside in the mall because he's a little bit more. Bunny 2.0 is a little bit more friendly. He's a little bit more curious. He's definitely kind of a brat, but he's more of a jerk. Whereas original Bunny is, I don't want to say where he is in the haunt, but you can't miss him. So that's fun.
Awesome. So I'm very excited to see everything. I really love the behind the scenes tour.
Oh, great.
I really liked all the detail. I love it when I go through a haunted house and it looks just as good with the lights on as it does
Oh,
off.
thank you.
So I was very impressed by the set design. And I can't wait to see the first haunt, the Demon Hour.
Yes.
I can't wait to do that flashlight experience. That's
Yes.
going to be so much fun.
Thank you. Yes, admittedly, it's not a completely original idea. I had actually, there have been other, well, let me back way up. Okay, let me go all the way back. So, we were the first, I think we were the first haunted house in Pittsburgh to do the whole blackout night glow stick thing.
Okay.
Full disclosure, that was an idea that we got from our friends at House of Torment in Austin.
Yeah.
I've been doing this long enough that I've actually, built up relationships with other haunt owners, and sometimes we're just in the off season, sometimes getting together, hanging out, just hanging out, and it was our friends at House of Torment in Austin who said, you know what we do? And they were one of the first ones to sort of come up with that concept, I believe. And so we gave it a shot, and we really liked it. And so that was sort of percolating in the back of mind. And then I know other haunted houses have done the sort of flashlight thing, but I had always been hesitant to do it because in my mind, I always think of lights out. And like, well, how do you do the detail? How do you do, I couldn't figure out how to make, because when you're going through and the haunt's relatively dark and you have the flashlights, or glow sticks, it's really scary, but then you're not able to deliver much of a detail or a production.
Yes.
And then I have to say, a few years ago, I was lucky to finally be able to get out to Knott's Scary Farm, which had been on my bucket list for many, many years. And they have a haunted house out there called Trick or Treat. And I saw how they were able to still develop a high concept, high detailed experience, but based on the flashlights. And they also did some things with it that we're keeping in the back of our mind too. And so we just thought, well, that's a really fun way to sort of have the best of both worlds, that you still have the detail and the flashlight kind of enhances the detail. And it also encourages, like, the more times you go through, you're always catching more and more things. And I think a lot of people don't realize how many things in here are triggered by the flashlights. As a huge Disney nerd, when you go on like the Men in Black ride or Buzz Lightyear and you're shooting things, this place is the same way. There are a lot of little animations and things that some are fairly obvious and others are very kind of subtle.
So the more you put your flashlight on places, the more you'll see.
Yeah, and like sometimes the flashlight makes something happen, sometimes the flashlight makes something stop. And the evil genius of that is, and I'm saying evil genius in terms of the entire design team,
not
just me, that customers are so fixated on trying to make something happen that they don't realize the actor is able to get right there, and we just drop them in here. Right?
Awesome. So do you have any final thoughts for the 20th anniversary of the Scarehouse?
It's just mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling to me it's mind-boggling to me. We've had like actors put on some of these costumes of characters that scared them when they came through the haunted house.
Oh, wow.
This year in particular, we've had the experience of actors, because all of our actors are 18 and over.
Adults,
and some of our actors, Scarehouse was the first haunted house they ever went to. So for them to have the experience of, okay, I'm not only working at the first haunted house I ever went to as an adolescent, I'm actually wearing the costume of the very same costume, the very same character who scared me
Nice.
20 years ago. So that, and
That's awesome.
it's just great to feel like you're part of a ongoing tradition in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And I mean, it's a lot of businesses and things refer to like the corporate family atmosphere, but for us, it's like not only the characters but the actors. Like some of these people who are working in here have been with us since the beginning or almost the beginning.
Well, that's a long
So
time.
it's wild to look back and like as I was pulling up archival photos of like the first time we did Creepo and the first time we did Bunny, and realizing how many people in the frame still work here now. It's just that's crazy.
Awesome. So thank you for talking to me,
Oh,
Scott.
thank you.
And this is the Scarehouse in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Absolutely.